What's up, everybody? Welcome to Red Zone DFS Monday edition. We've got Monday Night Showdown, and we have a good one. AFC West Chiefs hosting the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, going to be a very, very interesting game tonight. First, before we get started, this show is presented, and we are supported by Manscaped. Right now, we have a promo code going on, Zone20. It gets you 20% off at manscaped.com. Plus, it gets you free shipping anywhere in the world. Guys, if you haven't checked out the Manscaped products yet, you're doing yourself a massive disservice. Everybody uses the products that they sell. The problem is that we always try and buy the cheapest ones because, it's going to die soon or whatever it might be. The Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the landmark product that makes Manscaped the company that they are, is truly one of the great personal care products out there for men and women. You can shave up. You can make sure you're not getting any nicks, cuts in those very sensitive, hard to reach areas. And right now, guys, I mean, it's just a no-brainer. So again, manscaped.com, 20% off, free shipping with the promo code ZONE20. And I'm going to leave it up here on the screen the whole time so you guys can take a look. All right, let's get right into it. Monday night, we have our total up here. Kansas City's favored by 7 points. Total is between 52 and 51, wherever you look. I am personally, before we kind of talk about it, one of the biggest things about using runthesims.com is that, yes, it gives you the default scores of, what it thinks it's going to be. In order to be able to take down some of these tournaments and to use the optimizer and to use this information, I believe, in a positive way, you're really going to have to put in at minimum, you don't have to mess around with the pace or the rush rate or anything like that, but the points scored by each team really will make a difference. Okay. So if we take a look at the last five times the Raiders and the Chiefs have played, we've had totals of 57, 55, 66, 72, and 49. Pretty wild scores. We've had average margin of victory over that time of 22.6. I mean, guys, I think the Chiefs are going to roll tonight. I think if you want to bet, I'm going to be betting the -7. I think you're fine laying that. If you want to buy a half point, just guarantee yourself no push to get it down to 6.5. I think that's great too. If you want to do a little too, if you're really concerned, you can do a little 4-point teaser, and tease this down to 48, 47.5 and -3. Something like that if you want to bet it from that side. But I'm putting in the scores of Kansas City winning 35-19. Okay. And when I hit run the sims, it's going to analyze the game and simulate it based on what I think is going to happen, right? For those scores, and then it's going to give me my optimal result. So bam. So we take a look. So right off the bat, let's talk about our captains. He's going to be expensive, but guys, it's absolutely worth it. And in a Chiefs offense this year, where a lot of Patrick Mahomes' ancillary pieces are not super expensive, the captain spot is where you're going to want to attack Mahomes. If you're going to pay up for Mahomes, you're going to just want to pay all the way up and go to him at the captain spot. So Patrick Mahomes, no shock, is one of my favorite captains. I also think that Travis Kelce is criminally under-owned in the captain spot. Right now, garnering only about 14% captain spot ownership, the same as Hunter Renfrow. Look, that's a different build if you're going that way, but I'm just going to go ahead and pass on that one. I would much rather play Travis Kelce. We got Devontae Adams, who's coming in fairly low owned. per the simulation, he is not showing up. He actually has a negative leverage. Not showing up. He's going to be getting more owned than he's actually showing up in the optimal lineups. He's expensive. I get it. Yeah, one of these times, Marquez Valdez-Scantling is really going to pay off for us. And it's going to be somebody like him, or it's going to be somebody, like a McCole Hardman or something like that, right? Hardman right above him, like him a little bit more than Scantling tonight, just because you're getting a little bit of a price savings there. But as far as captains go, for me, it's going to be Mahomes and Kelsey. And then I believe Darren Waller is going to be one of my more attractive captains. I think they kind of need to get him going a little bit. So Darren Waller is going to be my preferred Raiders captain. It's not going to be Hunter Renfrow. I get Hunter Renfrow is attractive from a price point, but I think that Darren Waller presents much more upside when it comes to touchdowns. I mean, if you take a look at his numbers here, I mean, it's something it's kind of tough to ignore. 7,200 is a fair price for Waller. He's showing up in the captain only about 3.1% of the time, a little more owned than that. But he's a guy who hasn't had one of those big games yet this year. I think this is the night for it. And a lot of people are just not going to play two tight ends in a showdown lineup. I'm perfectly fine with doing that tonight. So let's take a look at if we have any positive leverage spots on the board. First, we're going to look at captain leverage. So while Mahomes has an overall negative leverage, his captain leverage is where we're going to want to attack. He's showing up in the captain spot 4% more than he's being owned. So that's really, really good news. And that's, again, why he's my favorite captain. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, it's really tough to ignore the usage that he's getting, especially with the Raiders, who just don't have a very good defense. He's somebody you're really going to have to consider. I think my fade for tonight is probably going to be Josh Jacobs. I know he's getting an insane amount of usage. He looks good in the optimals. He's going to look good in all of the optimals, no matter what site you use. And I guarantee you, just from a volume standpoint, he's going to be getting talked up. You can't play everybody on a showdown slate, and Josh Jacobs is going to be my fade on tonight's slate. Daniel Carlson, just like the other night on Thursday night when we absolutely killed it with the kicker spot, Daniel Carlson's going to be our leverage play this week. He is only going about 12% owned. Look, the Raiders are going to score. Chiefs defense is not that great, but they are going to kick some field goals. So 12% projected ownership for Daniel Carlson is borderline criminal. He's definitely got to get in the lineup a little bit. Like I said, McCole Hardman has a little bit of positive leverage. If you're playing in a large field, even in a single entry or a large field 3 max, I think McCole Hardman has to be in the running for captain tonight. But the nice thing is he's going so low owned. You can play Mahomes as a captain, Hardman as your second fiddle, as one of your pass catching options, and you're going to be just fine. He's only 4,600. He's only 18% owned, right? It's not a big deal. Matt Collins, who we have really liked, and Derek Carr has built up a pretty good rapport. Now, Hunter Renfrow is going to be back tonight, but Matt Collins is only $5,000, and somebody that, if everyone's going to own Hunter Renfrow and Matt Collins is going to go 11% owned, even when Hunter Renfrow was in the lineup, Matt Collins is getting 7 to 9 targets a game. He's absolutely going to be involved in the offense, and somebody I think you have to prioritize getting into your lineups tonight. We already talked about it. Really like Darren Waller. Jerick McKinnon, somebody asked me about, if you are going to tell yourself the story that this is going to be kind of a shootout, or maybe you are of the opinion that the Raiders get out to a pretty good lead, I think he's a great option for you, right? At $3,000, he doesn't have to do a whole terrible lot. And honestly, I would rather try and punt with somebody like Jerick McKinnon than punt with a $600 Noah Gray, who, yes, I know he had the rushing touchdown. I get it if you're just doing it for a savings standpoint, but Noah Gray at $600, I would probably just rather pass on. Matthew Wright, Chiefs kicker, 4,000. Like I said, I prefer Carlson, but either of the kickers I can get behind. Chiefs defense has a ton of leverage. It looks like I can't get behind that. I just think it's going to be too high scoring of a game. Derek Carr is prone to throw some very bad interceptions, but the one guy I kind of wanted to look at, was Zamir White. His snap share has certainly gone down. Like I said, the Josh Jacobs usage has just absolutely ballooned up, right? So it's one of those things where, look, if you have to try and find someone cheap, a Zamir White is somebody you're going to have to probably consider putting into your lineup, or like a Noah Gray, who I don't love, but he is out there on the field, as to where Zamir White is not going to be, right? So if these are some decisions you're going to have to be making, this is what you're going to kind of have to think about. Isaiah Pacheco, really like him as a player. His price, I think, is just kind of way out of line tonight. You could take a dart throw with Sky Moore or Justin Watson. I would prefer Justin Watson, I think, maybe, because he's only $1,000, but now we're kind of getting into some of these guys where what exactly are they going to do? Foster Moreau is garnering quite a bit of ownership. I have no interest in Foster Moreau. I think it's going to be a Darren Waller night. So again, to recap, really like Mahomes. I think that this is a night where you have to put two quarterbacks in your lineup. Don't hate playing Derek Carr at the captain spot. I'm going to be fading Josh Jacobs. That's just going to kind of be my stance. He's just a little bit too expensive for what I want to do with my lineups tonight. I think you got to get some Devontae Adams. I really like McCole Hardman as my preferred, but you look, Hardman or Valdez-Scantling, both of these guys are really attractive to me. I would much rather play them than a Juju Smith-Schuster at 31%. I think you have to find a way to jam Kelsey and Mahomes into as many lineups as humanly possible. I prefer putting Mahomes in the captain, but if you need some salary savings, I get why you would jam Kelsey into the captain. I'm going to be doing so. I haven't really made up my mind too much on Clyde Edwards-Helaire yet. Him and Josh Jacobs are kind of in the similar boat where, like, I don't think that they're very good running backs, but the usage is so good. I'm probably going to side with Edwards-Helaire because of the $1,400 price savings when they basically have the same roles in their offenses. But Edwards-Helaire is just showing up in the optimals much more often than Josh Jacobs is. They're both have a positive leverage, but I have to pick someone to fade. So tonight my fade's going to be Josh Jacobs. Guys, good luck tonight, and hope everybody does great. And I hope that this is an actual high-scoring, fun affair, unlike last night's Bengals and Ravens game. Have a great evening, everybody.